Well, hello lovely people, welcome to today's Pick a Card reading. We will be doing a reading about your career and what types of changes and happenings and developments you can expect till the end of the year. So as you can see, there are 3 piles to choose from as per standard. Choose either the card or the sticker that draws you in the most, and let's see what's happening in your career in the next couple of months. Hello pile 1. If you chose this kitty sticker over here, then these are your cards. The main card you got from the Urban Crow Oracle, this card over here, is the displacement card. And it talks about, if we see it as the main energy of your reading, it has to do with displacement of anger, either you towards someone else or potentially also someone else towards you. It's basically the idea that something has disappointed us in the past, and because we either don't feel in control, or maybe the person or thing that disappointed us seems like something too big to handle or something too scary. Think in a career sense, for instance, a boss who you are afraid of stepping up towards because they might fire you, they might hurt you in some professional way. So instead of dealing with the issue constructively, you might, for instance, do like the crow in the card and go shit all over your colleague's car. That's basically the idea of displacement. There is some kind of issue, and because either of a feeling of being unable to act, or that the consequences of acting towards resolving the issue directly might be too big, you are choosing to put that energy elsewhere. If not you, the other possibility of this card is that someone is basically doing the same to you. So you might be finding yourself in the situation of being someone's punching bag, again because they feel weak, because they feel unfulfilled, something like that. And take whichever of the sides resonate with you. They can both apply to the cards that came up afterwards in the tarot. So if we take a look at your tarot cards, what they are basically giving is, let's say, profound emotionality and like strong feelings, and also some kind of disappointment, which I am guessing is laying in the past, or if not, it might be something that you are currently experiencing. So you got in the middle of the reading the Five of Pentacles combined with the Five of Swords, and both of these energies have this feeling of lack and of disappointment. With the Five of Pentacles, the idea is that you somehow feel left out in the cold. Something, either somebody or a situation or fate screw you over, and you don't see a way out of this, let's say, misery. And with the Five of Swords, the Five of Swords has this side to it where it speaks about a conflict of people. So if you take the regular Rider-Waite tarot, you can see 5 people who are basically fighting and trying to kill each other off with the swords. And with the card coming up in the reversed position, it can speak about slowly moving out of this energy. This is also why I feel like this situation is something that already happened and is standing in the past, but what it left is some kind of disruption. Even in this tarot deck, if you take a look at the card, we have this guy who seems super confused. He has a headache from listening to all of the gossip, let's say, around him, because you can see how the crow is sitting on his shoulder. It's talking to him, he has a headache, he doesn't want to listen to it. So maybe this is something that you have experienced in your office setting. It could have been a conflict that came because of some kind of gossip, someone talking behind your back, or even if it's not necessarily gossip, just someone speaking negatively about you to other people, and then maybe circling back to you, and then speaking bad about other people to you. There is just this feeling of going in circles, and you listen to the bad information, but you don't pay attention to someone in the background who is trying to extend their hand to you and somehow help you move on. With the Five of Pentacles, it has a similar energy where there is some kind of way to resolve the situation, but you are feeling in despair right now, and you are just still not at the place to lift your head up and see that movement forward. And now one possibility I'm seeing for this person that might have, let's say, wreaked this havoc up to this point, it might have been some kind of man around you, because we got what's he called, the Knight of Cups. So it can signify some kind of male energy, potentially also a male who is a water sign, or if not a male, it could also be a female, I guess, but just someone who embodies more of a masculine energy, let's say. But there is something here with this Knight that, so the Knight can have, of course, many different meanings, but one of them, which I feel is fitting for your situation, might have something to do with being too open, let's say, with your words. So it is basically this idea of carrying your heart on your sleeve, I think is the expression, being open with what you think, what you feel. And while this is a good thing, generally, like every good thing can have negative consequences as well. So either there was some person like this who might have stirred up this whole situation, maybe by being too frank, speaking what's on their mind, or rather on their heart. Or again, if it was not another person, it could have been you. We also have the Queen of Cups above him, and the Queen of Cups typically represents a female figure who is really intuitive, really in touch with her inner world, with her feelings. She is really empathetic. She has this strength, but it's not the typical like manly strength, so to say. It's the strength, it's the female strength. It's the strength of sympathy, empathy, and emotions. So I don't know if this is necessarily speaking about you and another person, or again, it could be representing two sides to you, which might have started this conflict somehow at the beginning. So what I'm seeing, for instance, is that there might have been a time where because you are an honest person, because you are a person who doesn't want to hide what they feel and what they think from others, you might have said something out of pure intention, not out of wanting to cause any type of problem. But I feel like this might have been the starting point of whatever is being shown as the point of conflict in your reading. We also have the Knight of Wands in your reading, and also the reversed Six of Cups. So generally the Knight of Wands is a really charismatic person, a person who is filled with ideas, a person who is not afraid to go after what he wants. So there might have been again here the energy of, although this is all positive quality, it might have gotten misinterpreted somewhere along the way. And you know, if someone especially has what would the expression be, if someone has a bone to pick with us, it's kind of like no matter what you do, no matter how positive your intentions are, everything can get spun around by the right person, so to say. And I feel like there is a part of you which feels some kind of, not remorse, I guess. It's not remorse the right word. It's some kind of regret, rather. Yes, it is about regret. The Six of Cups speaks about us reminiscing somehow about the past. So I feel like there is this energy in you of thinking about your work balance before this situation happened, and feeling somehow guilty about the choices you made and the actions you took. And again, these cards are not necessarily giving me the impression that you did something wrong. It might be again more so to do with another person who was either from the start, let's say, with a negative expectation of you, or at the very least a misunderstanding. It could have been a misunderstanding as well. You know, take it as it resonates. Now, a side note before we continue with the tarot, from these oracle cards you did get the Skull card, which speaks about someone potentially keeping some secrets or some hidden intentions trying to harm you. So it could very well be that someone in this situation took some kind of advantage from your actions, from your words, from whatever you showed, and tried to spin them around, which put you in not a great situation. But there is positivity in the reading, in the sense of it shows that there is a way out. And like generally, I would say this to everybody, the idea of tarot is always that it should show you the best way out of a situation. Or if you see that the way it is showing you is not optimal, that you want to change it, nothing is written in stone, so you have the tools. So as long as you see the information in front of you and decide that something isn't to your liking, you have all the strength to then work with that information and to take the appropriate actions in order to change the outcome. Now you got the Temperance card in the reversed position and the upright Ace of Swords. So with the Temperance card, it does speak about something being out of balance. It can again point to some kind of conflict of interest, something not binding well, like one person pulling in the one direction, another person pulling in the other direction, and just not being able to see eye to eye. It just speaks about a state of imbalance, of polarity, even I would say the need to, especially combined with the Chariot, the need to move things along as fast as possible, like this lack of patience, so to say. And with the Temperance, the idea is that you need to, of course, again find that balance, but you need to also develop within yourself a sense of taking things a little bit more chill, so to say. Basically, getting back to the place of the upright temperance, the place of feeling imbalanced, not feeling balanced, not pushing anything too far in either direction, and trying to regain the harmony. And I feel like this will come towards you simultaneously, and like the chicken and the egg, which will come first, with some kind of new idea or new way to handle the situation. So the Ace of Swords speaks about us getting some kind of sudden clarity. And because it follows for you the two probably most negative cards, the two Fives of Pentacles and of Swords, I feel like what's happening next regarding this situation is you getting that clarity, and through that clarity, knowing on the one hand, of course, in which direction to move, what steps to make, but through that also to regain some kind of balance and feeling of being in control. And the last two cards that came up for you speak pretty much about that. So you got the Magician in the reversed position and also the Chariot. And the Magician in this case is a little bit of a blocked energy. So the idea here is that I feel like you probably have some kind of unused potential in this situation and some kind of untapped power because you don't trust in it. Again, it might be based on the fear factor of, if I do this, will I face major backlash? Will the colleague poop all over my car, basically? But this is more or less an illusion, not in the sense that it can't happen necessarily, but it's just that in order to move out of this, you have to do something, and then we can see how it further unfolds. But if you don't, you are just stuck in nothingness, and nothing can improve. It can only get more stuck, so to say, or worse. It can only develop in a worse way. And with the Chariot card, on the one hand, it does carry the promise of this having the potential to develop really fast, because the Chariot is a fast card. But also it speaks about you having the courage to lead this Chariot. Both the Magician and the Chariot are quite self-proactive cards. So like, I wonder if that's a word, even selbstlebendig, let's say. So we have this word in Bulgarian, which basically means that you are alive by yourself. This is how it sounds when you say it. But the idea is that there are people who just don't need anything. They are enough for themselves, and they can fend for themselves, and they can do everything by themselves. You need to embrace a little bit of that energy. You need to take matters into your own hands, because somewhere here someone else got control of the situation and fucked it up. And it's not fair that now you have to fix it, but this is basically what it is. You have to fix it for yourself, and you need to move towards that courageously. There is the promise of success at the very least. Maybe I am not saying this based on the cards, I'm saying it based on life logic. Even if this situation were to turn out, let's say, in the worst case possible for a job, let's say you decide that you can't continue working in this place because it's toxic or because whatever, the sooner you find it out, the sooner that develops, the better for you. There is no point in staying in some kind of toxic environment, toxic situation, because again, it's not going to improve by itself. It might just, the suckiness might become the new status quo, but it's not just going to disappear without some kind of proactive action. And yeah, probably lastly, like to just briefly go into the tea leaf oracle cards. So you got the skull, which we discussed. So hidden secrets can harm you. Again, there might be the potential here of someone going behind your back, speaking to other people, then maybe getting back to you and speaking to you again, like kind of riling you up. So if you see the possibility of such a person, definitely keep an eye on them. You also have the teardrop card, which is the other negative card, which speak about great personal sorrow. I feel like this is the situation that already happened and not relating to the past, because these three cards came together at the start. You also got the April card, so it could be that this situation that we are talking about started in April, or April might somehow be important regarding it. But then you got three positive cards. So we have the dog with pleasure with a close friend. We got the eagle with triumph over troubles and obstacles, and also the bridge with successfully overcoming a problem. So either way, no matter how this situation exactly changes, again, it's not making me in any way think that it would be as drastic as you leaving your job or changing or anything like that. But again, free will, you can decide what's best for you. But definitely there is this nudge that things will develop in a good direction and an obstacle problem will be overcame. So it is just about you taking charge of it. This, again, it might seem scary. We saw this with the displacement card from the start, but you just have to do it pile one. It is what it is. This is the bottom line. If you displace your feelings, your frustrations, your actions, it's not going to lead to anything. Good, I hope that this was helpful and I wish you all the luck. Well, hello pile 2. If you chose this sticker over here with the shopping and the cheese and the whatnot, then this is your part of the reading. And to be frank, I feel like your reading is going to be shorter because it seems really pointed and concise. So I'll get straight into it. And this is basically that I feel like what's happening in your career during the next couple of months is that you would basically change careers. This is the major vibe of your reading. So let's get into it. The first card you got from the Oracle, the Crow Oracle, is the Community card. And maybe because I listened to this song today, it's making me think about it. Community Property by Steel Panther. Yeah, if you feel like listening to something funny, then definitely go listen to that song. Those guys are hilarious. Or potentially, like, if you're some kind of creative musician person, then I don't know, I guess maybe take it as some kind of confirmation for yourself. So, the Community card itself speaks about, guess from the first try, the community which surrounds us. And the idea here is twofold. It could be both, or it could be one of the scenarios. Either that you are encouraged in times of stress, in times of feeling down about yourself, in times of feeling uncertainty, you should turn towards the community around you and seek its love, seek its support, seek its guidance. Because as much as we want to be individuals and to lead our own way and to be independent, each of us is a social animal. We need people around us. Now, there is another option with this card, and it has to do with us examining the communities that we are a part of. And in this case, this will most likely be your work community, but because the areas of our life are, of course, not something that exists in a vacuum, it can also speak about examining your friendships, your support network, your family, if you will. And the idea here is that at a certain point, we might find ourselves to have outgrown the people around us, or if we are not to put judgment on it, because outgrown seems a little bit judgy in this way. It's just that at a certain point, we might find ourselves on a path which doesn't necessarily resonate with the people we have in our lives. And like I said, the cards that came up for you are very strongly speaking about some kind of change taking place and you leaving behind something old. So that's why I feel like you are now in this transition period of, on the one hand, changing your career trajectory, but also examining whether you need to change something in the community around you. And again, this is something that either way, even if you don't change your friend circle, if you continue speaking to your lovely family members, once we change careers, of course, it is normal that the social circles we hang out with change. Like if you were an accountant yesterday and tomorrow you apply to be, I don't know, a marketing guru, the people around you are going to be different. Like, no shit. 4 minutes of me speaking about things that are literally no shit. Good. Now, regarding your cards. The first card, or let's say the first two cards you got, are the Eight of Cups, the card of leaving something behind, and the Seven of Wands, the card of feeling somehow attacked or challenged in your position. Now, I really like this Seven of Wands card, its depiction, more so than the regular tarot, the Rider-Waite tarot, because there is this feeling of peace with her. You know, the Seven of Wands is a card where you are kind of, you are standing on the hill and you are fending off the flying spears that are coming towards you. Like you have made it up till some elevated position and now you are fighting to keep that position. So it is even possible that in this change, in this career change that you are going to be doing, it is possible that you are not starting now from the ground up. It is possible that you are already somewhere and that you are now pivoting fully. So for instance, if you had some kind of side hustle, it might have gotten to the point where you want to take the leap and try to make it your main thing. This is the idea. But the beautiful thing in this card is that she is protected in this bubble, and it really much gives this dream-like feeling on the one hand, because it looks like she is in another dimension and I don't know, you are looking towards her through a peephole or something. But also because the bubble itself is protective. It holds this promise that your mental strength and the strength of your intentions and your passions can protect you from those ones that are trying to destroy this for you. And like I said, the Eight of Cups itself is a card that speaks about us leaving something behind, us continuing in a new direction, and finally closing the chapter on something. Now, the second set of cards that came up for you are the reversed Devil, as well as the upright Knight of Pentacles. With the reversed Devil, the Devil speaks about addictions, like something that keeps us chained, something that is always, let's say, a guilty pleasure, because I can't think of the word I want to say. Yeah, basically, let's just leave it at addiction. It's something which we might know is not optimal for us, but it's just so darn exquisite. It brings something to us that we want, even if it is bad for us in the long haul. And the good thing is in this situation that the devil came up for you in the reversed position. So although there might be this feeling of wanting to continue this bad behavior, this addictive programming that you might have, there is already some development in the direction of breaking free from that. Because you got underneath it the Knight of Pentacles, which is the slowest moving knight, I would say that you're very much still in the trenches of going through this. But at the very least, I feel like you have gotten to the point where you are starting to see the negative role you played in your circumstances as they are right now. And you saw that your behavior was somehow not optimal for what you wanted for yourself. So although there might still be some blame or feeling sorry for yourself, or basically falling victim to negative mental states, there is this sense of moving forward. Even if it is happening slowly, there is movement. And the Knight of Pentacles, although he might be the slowest moving knight, he is also the one who achieves the material result. Like, you will see the fruit of your labor, even if it takes a little while. And he also speaks about you having the determination to put in that effort. It is a day in and day out effort. It's not the type of knight who will just burn himself out in a day, like blaze of glory type of shit, and then leave it. No, there is continuous effort. Now, the following cards continue to speak basically about this struggle and the fact that you will be moving forward in a completely new direction. So you got the Chariot in the reversed position and the Two of Swords, which give me the impression that this was not an easy decision to make, or rather it is still not an easy decision to make. There is this feeling here that you feel like your hands are kind of tight. You don't want to exactly see what is happening. You don't want to necessarily still take full responsibility, like you are getting there, but there is something here that feels extremely sucky. Like, whichever way you go, there is some kind of drawback to it. And I feel like you are still giving some of your power to in this situation to others, or to fate, or just to nothingness, basically staying in a little bit of limbo and not finishing it once and for all, but going back and forth. Like, there is just the feeling of not fully moving in a direction. And this is the Chariot card basically in the reversed, because in the upright the idea is that you are sitting on top of the chariot, you are leading it, you have the bull by the balls, and you are the ruler, so to say. But again, because it is in the reverse, because it is combined with the Two of Swords, there is the feeling of you giving a little bit of your power away. This is something that you will continue to work on in the next stages of this journey. Like, it's going to, like I said, it's going to take some time. Then afterwards you got the Page of Wands in the reversed position, and also the Nine of Wands in the reversed position. And here we once again have both of these feelings of somehow feeling blocked, mainly by your belief system. It could, of course, signify also feeling some kind of creative block, but it is based on your mind's illusions of not being in control or of not having the strength to carry something out. There is just this feeling that you want to start something new, but you're still not completely committed to it. Again, probably because of fear, because of worry. And this leads to your energy being scattered a little bit. Like you have the spark within you, but it's still not a laser focused, I don't know, fire or gun or something. And with the Nine of Wands coming up, it is like the Nine of Wands is like the getting beat up card. It is it is literally that. It is the idea that you probably feel tired, that maybe up to this point you have had to stand your ground a lot, and now you just kind of want to let it all go. You want to get finished with the situation, like you want others to lend you a helping hand, let's say. There is this promise here with this card that what you have started will be brought to a finish. Like you will make it through the storm, you will be successful, but because it is the 9th card and not the 10th card, you still have some way to go. And you might also here have the urge of opening up yourself to people, because especially if it came up in the upright position, the idea of this card would be again that you are standing your ground, you are getting your ass handed to you, but you are not giving up, you are determined. With the reverse card, there is this feeling of more peace, so to say. You are at the point, and you are absolutely encouraged to do it also, that you want to and you need to share your burdens with others. It's basically a shared burden is half of the burden. This is where you're at, and this is something which will even more help you to move forward in this situation. And this ties in with the community card, because you can see how the lady, she is completely alone in this card. But in order to avoid burnout, in order to avoid running yourself into the ground, because the card following this card is the card speaking about having one's plate too full. In order to avoid this, this is the way to move forward, to open yourself to others, to let them in, to share your sorrows, to listen to them, to cry, to laugh, to everything. And this will happen through this community. So again, whether it is that you are moving towards a new community which will understand you, which will support you in this new path in your career, or you are alternatively looking for your old community, it doesn't matter, take it as it resonates, or both, of course. But this is the thing that will help you move forward. And the last two cards that came up for you are positive cards. You got the 10 of Cups, which speaks about what's it called? It speaks about community again. I can't think of another word, so let's call it community once more. But it's literally that. It's being surrounded by people you love, by people who love you back, enjoying your life, taking a break. Like Cups energy typically signify the relationships in our life. So there is a heavy emphasis in your reading that relationships will be the significant part in your career. If not for anything else, if not in the slightest for helping you in the career itself, then at the very least being the point of where to take a break at the end of a long work day. Now, because you also got the King of Swords, I feel like a part of this will be receiving some kind of help in the form of mentorship from most likely a male person. It doesn't have to be a male, it can be a female, but it will be someone who carries the energy of the King of Swords. So this is someone who is an expert in their field, especially intellectually, so to say. So it can be a person who is a good strategist, who has already been in the places where you have been and can guide you in terms of what step to take next in order to make the most out of the situation. Like, he is not a guru, he is not a best friend, he is not even, I would say, a financial advisor or something like that. Like, he is a mentor in the mental plane. He is someone who has authority in the task that you are tackling, and he can lead you with suggestions and ideas. Now, maybe for the last thing, to just shortly go over the couple of tea leaves that you got. So we got firstly the Dark Woman card with dealings or relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair. So again, this woman might be the king energy that we're speaking about, or it might be someone different. Just keep it in mind. We have the horse with a short journey, and generally the chariot can speak about travel, so it is possible, and especially like short distance travel, so it is possible that at a certain point in your career journey, we are speaking about like the next couple of months, so short term, there might be some kind of journey you need to take part in, which will help you then move forward. We also have the V for victory in some endeavor, so this is great. We also got the pin with a new job or career, basically what all of the cards showed up for you, more or less. And then we have the torch card with spiritual development, enlightenment, awareness, and understanding. So pile 2, I hope that you are prepared for this change in your life. I am sure you are. Like, even if it seems scary, it's just one feet in front of the other, and you will get there. And I hope that this was helpful, and I wish you all the luck. Hello pile 3, if you chose the awesome kitty sticker over here with the sunglasses, then this is your part of the reading. Let's get into it. So, your reading is interesting, so I'm gonna just throw a couple of options out there, but let's firstly start off with the main card you got from the Urban Crow Oracle, and for you it is the Ghost card. Now, with the Ghost card, the idea here is that there is something from the past haunting you like a ghost. And the issue is that it is a dead and done situation. And we very often find ourselves mulling over and over on something from the past which has happened, but because we are somehow unfulfilled with it, maybe because we didn't do everything we wanted or we didn't say everything we wanted, like we are replaying it in our head and we are trying out different options for it, or different words or different scenarios, and trying to find one which will give us closure. The problem with that is that it takes a lot of our energy. Like, you can be literally laying in your bed before you go to sleep and completely rile yourself up over something that happened, let's say, 5 years ago. And this is something which the Ghost card is referencing happening regarding a career situation with you, because like we said at the beginning, this reading speaks about career. Now, what's interesting, despite me saying that this is a career reading for you, is that you got some relationship cards. And at the start, when you got the Page of Cups, and then the Seven of Cups, I was going to say that this mostly has to do with wishful thinking and with an endless exploration of options. And I would definitely still say that this is one very possible scenario with you, but because you also got the Lover's card, you also got the bouquet, which can reference some kind of relationship, as well as the Ten of Cups. Like, I will just throw it out there that there might have been an aspect of this situation which had to do with a relationship. So I don't know, pile 3, if you, for instance, had a work relationship, like with a colleague, with a subordinate, or whomever, there might have been an aspect to this here. And if not, then don't take that. Again, it's just an option. But if we are just to shortly explore this option, it would be basically this. It seems that you might have had some dealings with our lovely Page of Cups, who might be an amazing person in and of himself, but he has the propensity to also be a little bit of a dreamer, a little bit of a person who is all talk and no action necessarily. He I guess the easiest way to explain it is to by just showing you the card a little bit up close. Like, he is a dreamer person, and this is an amazing quality, but dreaming has the negative effect that sometimes we might dream without doing something in particular. And as a clarifier for him, we got the Seven of Cups in the reversed position, which again speaks about, like I said, wishful thinking. Basically having too many options, not being able to choose, and just staying there, wandering, wasting your time, not going anywhere. So either you might have had a dealing with such a person which caused some kind of havoc here. It could be not necessarily that you had a career issue, but you might have had an issue with this person in your workplace. And this issue is still not leaving you. It's haunting you as a ghost. This person might have, for instance, moved on from this situation, but you're still there thinking about it. This would also explain the Lover's card that came up for you in the last position, and also combined with the Judgment, because the Lovers can stereotypically talk about some kind of disharmonic relationship. And with the Judgment, there is the aspect of this relationship where you don't want to look at something negative within it. You don't want to look at your negative role in it. You don't want to look at. There's basically a mask here. There is some kind of mask that's standing in front of you, instead of you delving deep and solving the issue. And again, these cards are giving me a bit of a relationshipy vibe. So it might be again that your issue was not necessarily work related, but a person in that work situation related. Again, especially if it was some kind of romantic relationship. But like I said, if this doesn't apply to you, it doesn't have to. It does carry the meaning also for non-relationshipy things. So as I said at the beginning, with the Page of Cups, if this whole reading speaks only about you yourself and your career, the vibe it is giving is that you started somewhere in this situation with, again, the dreaminess, the thinking about plans, making plans, having amazing visions, but never really getting to make a choice and move in one particular direction. And with this, what happened next or is happening next, because the timeline is moving, of course. We have the Seven of Pentacles in the reversed and the Nine of Cups in the reversed. And these cards speak about some kind of grand disappointment and not seeing the fruits of your labor. The Seven of Pentacles in its upright position is a hardworking person. It is a person who is planting seeds of the bonsai tree and he is waiting for it to grow. And it is happening slow, but it is happening. But in its reversed position, it speaks about some kind of blockage and feeling sad about said blockage. Feeling like you have wasted your efforts, like you are not moving anywhere. It's just a sucky situation to be in. And the Nine of Cups, again, in its upright position, it speaks about us feeling like our wildest dreams are coming true and have come true. But again, because it came up in the reverse position, there is this feeling of despair that basically your wildest dreams have escaped you, that you have failed somehow, that things are just not going your way. And there is this sense here of also being blocked by fear, because of course once once we feel some kind of success, however small it may be, it acts positively on our psyche. We feel energized, we want to move forward. But if we experience the opposite of that, then frustration sets in about the missing results. You start to question what you have done and whether you should have even taken this direction. And there is this sense of wanting to give up. Now we also, the next set of cards that came up for you, which are also speaking about some kind of inner conflict, or even I would say inner and outer conflict. We have the reversed Ten of Cups, as well as the upright Five of Wands. With the reversed Ten of Cups, it is again this feeling of our dreams and happiness and harmony having escaped us somehow. There might be here also the amazing bonus of our relationships, especially like our community relationships, not being optimal. There might be also the sense of, because we are not feeling fulfilled, we are stepping out of those relationships, because you know how when sometimes you are not feeling great about yourself, you don't really want to hang out with people. You don't really want to be there for people. You just want to be sad all by yourself. There might be this here, or there might be also this harmony up to the point of being explosive, like being angry, having fights with people, having miscommunications with people. And because you got the Five of Wands in combination with this card, I will definitely say an aspect of this situation is having some kind of quarrels with people. These quarrels might not be dramatic. It might be in the sense of you not seeing eye to eye with somebody, without necessarily having a full-on dramatic fight, but there is at the very least the feeling of not being understood somehow. For instance, especially I experienced this with a friend lately, because she was explaining to me something about her personal work situation and how she was unfulfilled and how she saw no options in front of herself. And being the asshole that I am, I was just playing devil's advocate about, okay, but this is kind of, on the one hand, by your own doing, and on the other hand, something you can change. You are just right now in this beat up energy, and you don't want to grab yourself by the bootstraps and pull yourself out. And when we are in this situation, if you find it resonating or triggering something in you, Of course, we don't want to look at it. We want to suffer a little bit. We want to victimize ourselves a little bit. And this is absolutely fine. This is part of the process of moving through emotions. But at a certain point, you need to move out of this. And at that point, that community which you might have fought with might be actually telling you something valid. Like, not saying that everything they say is valid. Sometimes people don't see our problems in their wholeness, so they can't necessarily give us a perspective from all angles, but still it is always helpful to listen to the opinion of someone else. Something good might come out of that conversation, not just hitting each other with sticks. Then we got for you the Queen of Pentacles, as well as the Three of Wands in the reversed position. Now, generally, the Queen of Pentacles is this really practical, down-to-earth energy, and she is financially, at the very least materialistically, successful. But you also got with her the Three of Wands. Now, I would interpret this in two ways. And let's say the more positive way, the more positive interpretation would be that if you manage to move out of this energy at least a little bit, if you manage to move out of this fear and holding yourself back, because the Three of Wands is holding yourself back, it's standing there and not making the first step because you are afraid, and basically experiencing then more lost time because of it. If you manage to move out of this energy, there is a sense that things will become more stable for you. Of course, like, no shit. But there is also another aspect to this which I think is equally as valid, and that is that I feel this strongly relays once again the message that you are stuck. You are stuck like only an earth sign can be stuck, like a Taurus can be stuck, fixed in your ways, and it's just this self-fulfilling circle of shitty prophecy where you are feeling unsure about yourself, so you are stuck, and you are stuck in your beliefs because you don't see a change in the outside world. But how can you see a change in the outside world if you continue to be stuck and not change anything and not change your outlook? And it's just this over and over and over and over again. I feel like this is the main message here of these two cards and the issue that's continuing to hold you back. The last two tarot cards that you got, again, like we mentioned shortly at the beginning, the reversed Judgment and the reversed Lovers. Because we are now ignoring the possibility of speaking about a particular relationship with a person, if this is only speaking about yourself. Again, the Judgment card is about you ignoring some kind of higher calling. So you might have an inkling about the situation, how to get out of it, what you want to do, or anything, but you don't feel prepared for it. You are still afraid of it, and you are still trying to escape from it. You are still looking for some kind of easy way out, and there is no easy way out. You need to, once again, pull yourself out by the bootstraps. And you can do that. You just need to face that inner demon. You need to look at that fear that's holding you back. You need to explore the sucky feelings of, for instance, if that sucky feeling is, I did everything wrong and this is why I am here. Like, look at it, make peace with it, and then move on. Like, just continue going. Like, you technically you can continue doing things even if you don't like yourself particularly at that moment. You just have to start and trust that things will get better as you move on. At the very least, I have found for myself that sometimes when I force myself to do something, even if I don't feel like it, you just kind of get used to it. And then this thing that you didn't want to do kind of becomes the thing that you actually start to enjoy doing because it saves you from the initial sucky feelings. Like it's, I don't know, maybe as an example to make it hopefully a little bit clear. Let's say I hate working out, but I also hate being fat. So it is a lose-lose situation. I hate both of them. But if I force myself to work out, at a certain point, I will get used to it and it will help me to escape from the feelings of not liking myself fat. I don't know if this example even helped with making sense of what I just said, but I hope it did. And the last tarot card that you got, the Lover's card in the reverse position, again speaks about some kind of misalignment of values and disharmony. So again, if this is between the two sides of you, that would be the side that's keeping you stuck because it is finding, hanging on this past ghost of a situation somehow comforting. At the very least, you know the situation. And the other side of you, which is unfulfilled with how this situation is and wants to change it, but it's just scary. Change is scary either way. This is why people, we people, myself included, I do this constantly, we can keep ourselves stuck somewhere despite the fact that we might not like our situation, but it's just the devil I know. Like, might be shit, but at least I know what it is. And I don't know what type of shit will come my way if I change it. What if it's worse? Based on experience, and I'm sure you can attest to this as well, it's never worse. It might just be different, but different is always better. Better than being stuck. Life is movement at the end of the day, and you need to move exactly like the Crow card, which is flying over the gravestones and leaving them behind. So this situation, again, be it purely the career issue or be it some romantic relationship, having gotten involved in this career issue in the past, doesn't matter. The point of the reading that you should take is that it is a ghost, it is done, it is time to move forward. Just briefly, one last thing. Let's take a short look at the tea leaf oracle cards for some additional messages. So we got the 4-leaf clover, which speaks of great luck and fortune. We have the dagger, which has the message of fear, worries, and tense situation. We have the hills with obstacles to overcome. The older woman with dealings or relationship with an older woman. We have the bouquet with compliments from an admirer, so why not? And we also have the tent with temporary situation. So either way, pile 3. Again, this is something which will be only a little step in the bigger scape of your life and of your career. It seems to be something that you are more afraid of mentally in the realm of fantasy than something that you really need to be afraid of. There is fear, of course, probably the fear of change above everything else and the fear of making a wrong step and making things worse, but it's just something you need to go towards. And once you do, fate rewards the brave, so there will be something along the way which will help you. There will be some kind of lucky break. Now, whether this will come through some kind of woman, it is possible. Take it again as it resonates. Even now looking at the older woman and the Queen of Pentacles, because Pentacle energy and the Queen energy as well. If we are to see it in comparison with the Knight and the Page, it is older energy, so it is possible that somewhere along the line an older woman comes in to guide you somehow out of this situation, to help you regain your stability. But I would say, like, this is not the thing you should be waiting for. Above all else, take the message of this reading that things are not dramatic, nothing is lost, and forgive yourself if there is some kind of judgment or anguish or anger that you still hold toward yourself. If it is toward another person, definitely do it as well, but especially if it is about yourself. And just start taking matters into your own hands. Don't fall victim to some kind of overplayed mind programs you have. Okay? Pile 3, I hope that this was helpful, and I wish you all the luck.